Very good. Okay, well, welcome everyone to the Self-Achievement Network. My name is Dominic, and with me, whoops, over here is Aisha Radwan, and she is
Hello.
hello. She is our next person behind the passion here in the Self-Achievement Network. I am the host. Again, my name is Dominic, and I'm also the creator of Life Plan 2.0, which is another group because there's people like Aisha who have their passion worked out and they're pursuing it, and this is one of the things that is my passion, is to interview people like
I'm
Aisha.
loving the idea. Yeah.
Yes, it's great stuff. It's lots of fun. I'm really fortunate, and for some people that don't have their passion or their life plan worked out, that's why I created Life Plan. That's my specialty. I'm not so much into doing art therapy, which I understand is really cool stuff, and that's what Aisha does. So, hello, Aisha. How are you?
How are you, Dominic?
I'm doing very well.
I
Doing
really am
very,
really
very
honored
well.
to be with you today. I really love what you're doing. I love that your passion is to show people's passion. So, yeah, that's really impressive.
It's like a double thing, like the
Yes.
double passion. You get to
Yes.
passion and just help people share their passion.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, am I the coolest thing ever? Oh my God. No, really. No, thank you so much for being here with us today. I know we've talked a few times, and I'm when I first saw that you're what you're doing with this you were like an art student, and you started this whole therapy thing. How did all this thing happen?
So I'll tell you, my story started that I started working in different art schools, and I have been teaching art for what I think 13 or 12 years now. I have been teaching art since college, since I was in my undergrad studies. I finished my studies in art education, and I just loved art education and how to teach students of all ages, all kind of arts. I did this for a long time, and although I worked in different areas, like I worked as a wedding planner and interior designers and other things, but my passion was always to teach. And just a few years, when I think that's 2 years and a half now or less, I have been working in India, in Jaipur, to teach college
Wow.
students. I have been living in India for 1 year and have been the best year of my life.
India.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Each one of these has a meaning, by the way.
Tell me. I don't know what they are. I've done this before, but I don't know what it is.
I read about them, but I'm not sure. Like they have a lot of meanings. Like each symbol has a different meaning.
Yeah. All the
Yeah.
different Indian pictures are
Yeah.
just amazing. I know that they have,
Yes.
yeah, we could talk about that for a long time.
So I have been there in India for 1 year teaching kids. I was like building my curriculum around recycling and how sustainable life and how we can create like a peaceful inside out community. I came back to Egypt and I started studying psychology. I did some psychology studies in my undergrads, but after I graduated, I took now in the past 2 years, I finished two diplomas. One specialized in art therapy here in Egypt from Halwan University, and the other I took it from Dubai, Foundation of Art Therapy from the British Association of Art Therapy. And I have been taking a lot of courses, certified courses here in Egypt on traumas and on art healing and expressive arts, different things, DMT. DMT is dance movement therapy.
Hmm.
So now I'm in my master's, in my psychology master's, which I'm doing the expressive arts therapy thing, where you combine all kinds of creative processes in one thing, like the music therapy. The difference between expressive arts therapy and creative art therapy is that creative art therapy only focus on one thing, like for example music therapy, and then you concentrate on the music itself and the creative sounds and how music affect the nervous system and everything. In art therapy, you work with all kind of different materials in art. In movement therapy, you work with the movement and the body and how to explore your movement through your feelings. But in expressive arts therapy, you combine all of this together, like the creative writing, the creative painting and visual arts, doll making, pottery, writing, journaling, different things. And
Wow.
I find that this is more interesting for me, that it's like all it's different tools for each client just to explore and to see what's best for them to express themselves through.
Hmm. Well, it seems like you certainly know a lot about it. My first question is why?
Why? Okay, that's really, I haven't asked this every day since I started my job. Why is I have been always doing involving some therapeutic process in my teaching. I told you I have been an art teacher for 12 years now,
Hmm.
and art itself could be therapeutic, but the process of making art could itself, it's therapeutic. Any kind of art. Just remember, if you ever tried painting, if you tried playing any kind of music, all kind of art are a therapeutic process. But I wanted to dig deeper into how this could be like a real healing journey. Like in
Hmm.
art therapy, you tap into events, any events that happened into your life. It could be a traumatic event that you've been through. It could be something very painful. It could be frustration and or just depression or anxiety and a lot of worrying. Could be different things. And through art and through the creative process, you could really heal them.
Hmm.
And just when I started working with art therapy, and I saw that it really showed the people a lot of things that they didn't know, because you work with the subconscious. And just being able to do the two things I love, like to help people and to create art together, it's just, this is what I've been looking for.
Hmm. So give me an example. So you said dance and
Yeah.
painting.
Painting, yes, music,
You
and creative writing, a lot of things. So
so
let me
let
tell you one example that I
yeah,
just
give me
did.
an example.
Yeah. So I just did like a workshop a few weeks ago where we involved. So how does session go? First, we talk about the topic that we will address, each of us.
Hmm.
It could be like a general session where each could talk about something different. Could be a traumatic event. It could be losing someone dear to them. It could be suffering from a long illness. Could be different things, or it could be something specific with a group, for example, for cancer or patients of something, or for addicts, substance addicts or something.
Okay.
But that session, it was a general session, so each would be talking in the beginning about what they are experiencing, how this experience feels like, and what does it do for them. Like, does it not make them cope in life? Does it not make them sleep at night, and anxiety and depressed, different things, different feelings that they are feeling? And then we start painting, and every time I encourage the clients, every time they get stuck in the mind and the thoughts, they just connect again to their emotions and paint without thinking. So art
Hmm.
therapy is not about the product that they are doing. It's more about like the process itself, and it's a modality for a well-being, for mentally, to be mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually well. So they connect to their feelings and they paint anything. There is no judgment. Just painting like the whole paper red could be. There's no wrong or right in art therapy.
Uh-huh.
And then we sit together and we discuss the painting or the artwork that they did, because as I said, I did different things. And with their paintings, they move and they experience the feeling, how this feeling feels. So we did it with the four elements. It was fire, air, earth, and water. So whatever feeling you are experiencing, how does this feel like? Does it feel like water and relax and just flowing? Or does it feel like fire and passion? And so even fire could represent like a good and a good feeling that you are having, or a disturbing feeling that you're having. Like it could represent passion, or it could represent fear and anger and things like that. And with
Mm-hmm.
movement, like combining together movement and painting, and then after we finish, we sit together and we again discuss what we experienced through the painting and the movement and everything. And I question my clients about what is that there for them. For example, if they are painting a tree without any leaves, that could sometimes be a symbol of themselves. So I would
Mm-hmm.
ask about that tree. How does this tree feel like? Is it alone? Is it watered? Is it loved? Is it rooted? Or is it on the surface? Does it have any leaves? Is it a strong, confident tree? Or is it just any wind could blow it away? Things like that. We ask
Wow.
questions about the colors, and I watch them. I watch the facial reactions they do, the movement they do, if they are tensed or if they are relaxed. How is the process for them? And I question this as well. And I tap into things that they don't see in the beginning. Like, for example, you could be drawing something without knowing what does this represent for you. But after a few questions, you get to know more about it. Maybe you could do one art therapy session together one time online.
Okay. All right. That would be a great idea, actually.
Yeah.
I would like that. So I would do like get an easel and
Yeah.
some paint or
Yeah.
colored pencils, whatever it may be.
Yes.
Do you play music also in the
Yes.
background? So as
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
interesting.
So I always play like a meditative music without any lyrics, unless I'm encouraging something in particular, where I put some lyrics that I want you to think about through your process. But normally I just play something very quiet, something to cool you down, something to bring out your creativity.
hmm Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, probably more like 10 years ago, I was participating in a summer camp with a
Yeah.
bunch of children. And interestingly enough, one of the things that they did was got this big piece of paper.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was big, like big. And there were probably maybe six children sitting on the floor with this paper, and they had colored chalk.
Okay.
You know what this I'm
Yes. Yes.
saying?
Yeah. No track. Yeah.
And then they put on some like I don't know Beethoven or you know
Something
Strauss or one of
strong.
these
Yeah.
something like this, and then the kids just drew whatever came out of their head. And yeah, then they talked about it afterwards. Actually, behind me, the picture they gave me one. It used to hang on the wall behind me,
That's
and it was very
wonderful.
colorful and kind of psychedelic, actually. But
It's very important for kids actually. Like before a child talk, they sing and they hum, and before they start moving and walking, they you find them dancing around. So I think that
hmm
the creative side have been always there in each every one, but it's just we just forget it along the way.
hmm yeah, we
Yeah.
do. So you grew up in Cairo.
I was born in Saudi Arabia, and yes, I lived there for like till I was 6 years old, and then I have been living in Egypt for all of my life. Only I spent a few months in Dubai. I was living in Dubai and worked for a while there, and I stayed in India for 1 year.
So what was this whole thing with India? Why did you go to India? What was the curiosity?
It was a coincidence. It was pure coincidence. I was just
Coincidence.
yes, I was just like I was really bored. In that time, I was starting to manage nurseries, But then I was just really bored of being in the management business, and I wanted to teach again. And I just applied without knowing. Like I just applied to a few places. It was even like 3 a.m. in the morning, and
Uh-huh.
I didn't even notice where I was sending my CVs. So I didn't notice that I applied to India.
You're
And
like,
yes.
oops. Oh, leave it.
And after a few days, I got a call, which I thought it's a joke in the beginning, from a person telling me that I got accepted in India. And
Wow.
yes, and I didn't believe him. Like for 15 minutes, I was debating with him that, who are you? You're one of my friends, and I know it. Yeah, it
That's
was
hilarious.
such a funny story. And then I just went for it. I never taught in a college before. I was always teaching all kind of students, from college students to like high school and everything. But I didn't work like a full-time job in a college before, so it was a new
Hmm.
experience. And I always wanted to go to India, and now it's like my second home. I feel even homesick to India.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
if you talk to me, Egypt is my second home.
Ah, yes, I learned from
Um,
you that you stayed here for a while as well.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people know that about me. I didn't say in the beginning that I'm here in Chicago and you are 7,000 miles away in
Yes.
Cairo.
What time is it now in Chicago?
Chicago is 1:30 in the afternoon.
Okay, it's 8 hours apart.
Yeah, 8 hours apart, and we had about this much snow coming down
Ah, yes,
this
you showed
morning.
me yesterday. I loved it.
Yeah, yeah, it's turned out. It's nice when everything is covered and it's clean and it's beautiful. So, what part of Cairo? I mean, what part of India did you flew to? Where?
I stayed in Jaipur, but actually the first time I saw snow, it was in India.
Really?
I was living in Jaipur, but I traveled like most of the north. I was like a traveler there. I stayed in Kashmir. This is where I saw the snow. In Gulmarg, I went to Leh Ladakh, Manali, Kasol, Manikarn, the whole north. I think I went through like twice to
Wow,
the north. Yeah,
amazing! I've never been to India. Never.
you should. You would
I,
love it.
I know. I just have a friend that just came back, and she was just over the top. Like, wow, amazing, amazing, amazing.
And art there is like just everyone is creative. There you wouldn't find a person who wouldn't sing and dance and make something creative. So it was such
Hmm.
an inspiration to live there.
That's great. But I just want to tell you, there's several people that are watching, and I can't, for some reason, see who is watching. Can you have your phone there? Can you see it or no?
I cannot see it. I see that there is viewers, but I cannot see who. Hello,
Yes,
everyone.
that's showing up. Yes, I was going to say, what would you like to say to your friends and fans that are watching you right now?
Yes, if anyone is like wanting to ask any questions, or can we see if they ask any question that we can answer now? It would be
There's
really
one
nice.
comment, but I'm not. It's not okay. Asma Al Rafi. She says
Okay,
healing broken souls, but that was a It was just a comment. It wasn't a question. So that's what
okay.
you're doing is healing broken souls.
I wouldn't call it broken. So everyone has their parts that they need to just make peace with it. So each experience, even if it was a painful experience, is something that made us grow through it. And I believe that making peace with all our parts and accepting our feelings, all of our feelings, sadness, anger, everything that we are experiencing, is the way to heal.
Hmm.
Neglecting the parts like I don't want to be angry, I don't want to be sad, I don't want to cry. Neglecting our feelings could like suppress a lot of feelings, and then one day we will explode sooner or later. It could take years, it could take months, but not expressing your feelings and just suppressing them, it could lead to a catastrophe.
Catastrophic.
Yeah, catastrophic. Yeah.
The,
So
the brain will just blow up, right? Or
yes,
something like that.
exactly. Exactly, yes.
I mean, it sounds like what you're doing is something that is, I mean, it is creativity, and you're taking the using creativity as the sort of the tool to
Yes,
to remove and whatever and bring out
exactly.
the other. Yeah,
So
interesting.
through art therapy, we don't care about the product that you are making. It could be anything because you have the choice even to make whatever you want with your art. You can choose not to show it to anyone. You can choose to put it on the wall. You can choose just to put it into pieces, just to make it like to put it in the garbage.
Hmm.
You can
Hmm.
choose to do whatever you want to do with it. And whenever you put your feelings outside of you, this is one thing that helps a lot. Just putting like taking the weight from your mind, just put it on a paper outside of yourself. This is very helpful.
Hmm.
And as well, it's about the process itself. So while you are painting something painful, for example, you are taking this pain and you are turning it into something beautiful and creative, and this kind of heal it. It kind of heal it, and
Interesting.
plus with talking about it afterwards and digging deeper into it, because feelings always comes in couples. I always like to say that feelings doesn't ever come alone. Like if you are feeling angry, there is something behind it. Either it's sadness or it's sadness or just being anxious about something. There is always something behind the feeling. So just exploring what does this feel for you, and what triggered that feeling, and what caused it, and being in peace with it, and learn from the lesson that it taught you. This could be like a huge part of the healing process. And sometimes actually art therapy is a much better way for people who cannot express themselves into spoken word to psychiatrists or psychologists. I just need to clarify one thing. I'm still working on my license, so I'm not a licensed art therapist yet. I'm an art therapy facilitator. I'm working on my master's. I already finished 2 diplomas. I took a lot of courses, finished a lot of supervision hours, but you need like 1,000 supervision hours and 1,000
Ah,
credit
yeah.
hours, a lot of things to take your license. And it's not made here in Egypt. And this is one thing maybe I would like to talk about, that it's very hard to finish our license here in Egypt. It's because we need to do it abroad, and it would cost me 1.5 million to to finish.
Egyptian pounds.
Yes,
What's the
it's
math?
one
Divided
hundred.
by what?
It's
Eight?
1.5 in New York to take my certificate from New York in art therapy, and the cheapest is in Canada. It's 950,000, which is like quite a
Nine
too
hundred
much.
fifty thousand Egyptian pounds, not
Yes,
dollars.
no, Egyptian pounds.
What is it? What is it? What is it in dollars?
I think it was 90s or something, because $1 now is 18 pounds. So I think
So it's
it's
divided by
around,
18.
yeah,
Yeah,
and too
whatever that
much.
math is. Okay.
Yes.
It's still a
So
lot of money.
yes. So I'm doing my best to take like a bit courses, because you can put them into small courses. The most important thing is that you take credit hours and to finish your license. And I have been working actually with all kind of mental illnesses. I worked for a year in a sanitarium. I worked in some hospitals for
Wow.
cancer care, and I worked as well in retreats. I have a place actually for retreats, for ladies retreats and family retreats in Sinai. You have been to Sinai when you were in Egypt?
I was.
Yeah, I
Yep.
do retreats there, and I always collaborate with other therapists and creative like DMT therapists, different people from all over the world. Actually, we have someone coming from USA in April. Hopefully, that will be an awesome experience as well.
That's cool. So if you wanted to do a retreat, say at the place that you have in Sinai,
Yeah.
so you could do it with just a group of people, or you do it with a company.
So there is in art therapy, there is two ways. There's the individual sessions and there is the group sessions. So yes, I do it from my page. I just do it from my page. I don't have a company now to do the retreats with me, but I did had another retreat that we were planning to do in Siwa. It's here in Egypt as
Yes.
well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I just do it individually with my company, Aisha Radwan Studio, and people apply. I just make like a short interview with them to see what they want to gain out of this retreat, what they are hoping to get out of it, and then we do a few sessions here in Cairo before we travel together. We travel together. We combine a lot of things like meditations, some yoga work, and art therapy, a lot of talking circles, and it's always a safe circle for you just to speak whatever you want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about without worrying about judgment or about people taking your secret out of the circle, because this is like it's still a huge thing here in Egypt that people don't want to go to therapists and psychologists because they fear that maybe someone would know my deepest fears and my
Mm-hmm.
deepest secrets. And I would encourage people just to know that if it's a trusted person that they can trust, it's always a safe circle and nothing could ever get out of that circle.
Wow. I'm ready right now. I'm going to get my plane ticket and I'm coming, flying over Cairo for my therapy
I
session.
would love that.
It would be great. Well, we could do it. We'll schedule it on the
We can
calendar and
schedule
we'll do it because I've got an easel with some paper. But I have another question.
it.
I have another question. You mentioned about movement, about dance.
Yes.
That we really haven't talked about that. So that's I've read a lot and heard a lot of people talk about how movement is really impactful when it comes to whatever
Yes.
getting to the other side of something, changing
Yes.
your states like this.
Yes.
How does the movement type stuff, dancing, come into play with
So
this?
it's called DMT, dance movement therapy. And
Okay.
you again, it's not about the movement that you are making. You're not creating like a dance or something. You're getting out whatever feeling that you're feeling with the movement. So if you are angry, you just do any movement that could represent that anger inside of you. If you are anxious, and with this movement, you minimize the spoken word and you just encourage the client to connect to their body, because a lot of the time we're in our head and we're not connected to our bodies. We do not connect with the body and ground ourselves in our place. So we do some of the here and now activities where you ground yourself. You think about your environment around you and you feel your body. So you could just tap into your body and just try with me.
Mm-hmm.
Just tapping into your body would bring you more into a grounding sense, just knowing, just feeling your body and the environment around you. You could touch around you the chair and
Interesting.
could and like there is different exercises that for example like a grounding exercise where you see a certain thing around you. It could be a tree, it could be anything, and you move the movement that this tree represents for you, or the movement that this tree impact is on you. It could be kind of a weird thing to say, but what would this tree feel like? What would be the movement if you are this tree? What this
Mm,
movement feels like? Uh,
interesting.
yeah.
Wow.
And of
It's
course
so much.
dancing is like a very therapeutic thing without even getting into the DMT itself. Just dancing around gets a lot of energy out of you. And this also is like just letting yourself experience the movement and just losing yourself totally in it without thinking about it. It could be any movement. And again, we discuss after the session, we discuss each movement and what was it impacting, which feeling was it representing for us.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's really incredible. I mean, I never really thought about it in terms of like the healing part of it. So it's really an honorable thing that you're doing, and I think that I mean I'm really curious to do something like a little.
Yeah,
Maybe you
I
could
would love
do
that.
you could do one with me, but maybe we could get a group together or something,
Yes.
and with maybe some of your friends or something, you could we could do the same thing, but then you could facilitate the friend something. I mean,
Yes,
we're
yes, yes.
creative people, right?
We could do like a directed session where we can just show how people could do it, even because you can do a part in your home. You don't need to go to a therapist. Like journaling, I always encourage my clients, because I don't like my clients just to work in the session. I always give a lot of homeworks. So I give them like activities like journaling and making the affirmations every day, so we can get into our goals. We do even visualization charts where you put all the targets of the year in front of you, and how to start doing
Wow.
that into collages and into paintings and different things. So visualizing the thing that you want to get, where you want to go into the painting itself. And there's a lot of activities that we can talk about, and I could show how this is done. And then even the audience could follow the steps and do it at home.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you come into my Facebook group and my life plan group, because I have
Yes,
some exercises there. You could come and facilitate one of the
I would
courses
love
there.
that.
That's great.
I would
Okay,
love that.
beautiful. Well, I know this is the show is called The Person Behind the Passion, and if I didn't say it before, I don't think I did. I want to say congratulations, number
Thank
one,
you.
because
Thank
you
you
are obviously passionate about what you're doing. I mean, you're just like glowing all over the place talking about this,
so much. Thank you so much.
and you're very welcome. And so, tell us a little bit about. Do you just like do this all the time, 24/7, or are you doing? You have other hobbies that you do. You like to cook. I mean,
Yes.
what other things do you like to do?
So actually, I would love to be a full-time art therapist, but it doesn't pay well. And it's not only here in Egypt. I learned, like I saw a lot of therapists from all over the world. It's not, people still have this struggle going to therapy, and mental illness or mental health. I wouldn't call it even mental illness. Mental health is still like a taboo topic for a lot of people.
Sure. Yeah.
Who isn't suffering in that age from anxiety, for example? Each person could benefit from a bit of like healing work on themselves, and who's not feeling sometimes a bit depressed and a bit out of control and of some emotions that they have been suppressing. But I'm still working on it. I'm trying to do like breaking the stigma of mental illness. And other than that, I teach art. And this is something I'm really passionate about as well. I'm really passionate about sustainable life systems. So I teach how to create a sustainable life, how to make a better choices, even going to the supermarket, how to make better choices, how to choose the product that are recyclable after you finish it. And I teach even how to make furniture out of these things, the things that people just threw away, how to make something useful out of it, like light units and tables, chairs, different things.
This is called upcycle.
Upcycle, yes. I
Yeah,
teach
yeah.
upcycle, and yeah.
We had a guest on a little while back. that's all she does is do upcycling, and she does little workshops for kids.
That's amazing. I do.
Sarah Haddad.
Okay, that's great. I do workshops for both kids and adults as well, because I taught my students in India that they can create their own fashion brand out of recycling. They can create products. They can create interior designing, a lot of things, installations, art installations. And we did a lot of artwork out of, like, we went to garbage sets and we collected different things. And they made incredible exhibition afterwards with all the art that they made out of garbage.
That's crazy. That's
and
great.
As for my hobbies, I go play some boxing.
What?
Yes.
Boxing. Boxing?
Yes.
Okay, come on. Let's go.
Yes.
There we go.
So you should put your hands always next to that jaw, because if it's far like that, I would take like a shot on you. So you always
I just be like this.
So you always put your hands like that. And
So are you like up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you're jogging next to the Nile, the Nina,
I'm not
on the Corniche?
I'm not a early bird morning girl at all. I'm a night owl. So I go like around 1 p.m. or something. And this is the beauty of my job, that I always give courses and workshops. So I could like plan my work around the time that I like. This is something I'm really grateful for.
What about your playlist? Who do you listen to?
Oh, that's really interesting. So Coldplay is on the top of my list. And that would be a bit cliche, but Modern Talking. It's like a real old band from the 80s.
Modern Talking?
Yes.
I don't know this one. I'll have to look that one up.
The Bee Gees and
Bee Gees? What?
Yes.
That's 70s.
Yeah. The Beatles.
Stay alive. No.
Yeah. And Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong?
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
You're so old-fashioned.
Yes, I am.
What about Depeche Mode?
Who's that?
Depeche Mode?
No, I don't know them.
Your
a band?
friend. Tell her who Depeche Mode is. She's totally missing out. It's an 80s band, but they're very good.
I would love. Please send me a link of them.
Okay, I'll do that. So when you're not working, what about cooking? You cook?
Yes, I love cooking. I'm not a very good like recipe girl. I just improvise. Like I just put everything in front of me, and people love my cooking, so it works out.
Okay. Very
but
good.
I only know how to cook two things, which the things that I could live on: pasta and
water.
Chicken. No, not that easy. You're underestimating me. Pasta and chicken.
Tea.
Yes. Ginger.
And pasta. And would you say pasta? But what about the sauce? You get it from the jar.
No, I make my own sauce.
Okay.
From scratch.
We'll have to have another person behind the passion pasta sauce cook-off. Yeah.
I would like that.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Oh, that's great. So what kind of an impact really do you feel like you want to make with this type of work that you're doing with art therapy?
I have been always dreaming of making an impact on people's life. Like I always had this teachers who was like, I have this college teacher that was always encouraging me. So I finished college in 2010 or 2009, I think. And he taught me in 2005 until today. He's teaching me in my master's, my psychology master's. And all of these years, for more than 15 years, I guess, he have been encouraging me through everything, telling me all about which choices is better in the career field and everything. And I would like to leave that impact on people. Like I would like to inspire people and just for them to remember me throughout their lives, and to just to see the impact on in one person after the session of art therapy, and how they realized things that they didn't know it was there. The confidence they gain, the forgiveness they gain out of the sessions, because we work a lot on healing things, and
Hmm.
most of the work is from childhood. So I would say more than 80% from the mental illnesses comes from childhood, and childhood traumas, or childhood uh, where parents didn't deal in the right sense with the kids. It could be even people could think that they are like spoiling the child and doing everything for them, and this could be not beneficial for them. Because I did some parenting workshops as well. I do some parenting
Hmm.
workshops where I teach positive parenting for parents as well. So just leaving that person out of the session, getting out of the session with like a new perspective of their lives, that any incidents that they suffered from doesn't control them and doesn't determine who they will be. Like they can choose
Hmm.
whatever they want to be. And I have a lot of inspiring people that I always put as like ideals for me, like Maya. She went, you know, Maya, of course, right?
Maya is the
A
god of
lady.
the earth or something, the woman of the earth. Maya, Maya,
No,
water.
not that. Yes, Maya Walter. Yeah, and she's a writer, but she was raped as a child. She was a prostitute, and she went through a lot. And with everything she went through, she managed to be this successful person that she inspired millions of people. And
Wow.
so, and Oprah Winfrey, she went through the same. She went through, her grandmother wanted her only to be like a better maid in a better house. And look at her now. She's
Yeah.
inspired a lot of people. So your childhood and your environment that you grow up in doesn't represent and doesn't tell anything about you and about what you want to be, because there is always a choice. And this is what I would like to tell a lot of people, like to tell them how they can change any circumstances that they have been through.
Hmm. It's so that really is inspiring, and I wish you all the best. I know that you'll do it. You have the energy and you have the passion, and
Thank you.
you are truly a delight.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you
I
so
really
much.
appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. And again, congratulations for being our person behind the passion. So now you have to pay it forward. So you know somebody that is, got the something else that they're passionate about, then you
Yeah.
can nominate them.
Yes, I would like to nominate Maya Abdelaziz. Actually, she's my friend, and we are working on that workshop together. We have been working together for a while, and she's a singer. She have been recently in USA. Actually, she just came back like few weeks. She was creating a song there, and she's a psychologist as well.
Great.
She's not a psychologist. She took like she studied psychology for children, and she have been teaching all over the world, in USA, in Kenya, in Tanzania, in Egypt. She's a teacher and a musician, and I think she will be inspiring as well.
That's great. There's
Yeah,
a link at the top of in the announcements in this group. You
yeah.
scroll up and then it'll see, maybe it's down, I don't know which one, but it says you've been nominated, person behind the passion, and you can send that to her.
Okay, that's perfect.
And I'll get the notification. I'll follow up with her. That's great.
Yeah, it
Wonderful.
has
So
been
thank you
really an
again.
honor to spend this time with you and to talk about it. I really feel excited whenever I talk about art therapy, and I thank you for giving me this opportunity.
It shows. What would you like to say to the people out there?
I would like to say to be more aware of yourself, and if you will need to work on anything that have been happening to you, to take care of your mental health and to reach out and to try to find someone that could help you, that you can trust. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a therapist. Just break the stigma and just take care of your mental health. And there is nothing wrong with anyone. Just we just have been made to think that way, but there is nothing wrong with any mental illness or
Love
with
that.
any incident that happened in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong. I think that's one of the biggest challenges is to let the mind get it that there's
Yes.
nothing wrong.
Yes.
99.99% of the stuff that we have going on is made up.
Yeah.
And cause. There's certain causes. I don't want to diminish it, but anyway.
Yeah.
Well, to all of you that are out there that have been watching, thank you for joining us today. It's been a real treat to have Aisha here watching. I mean, talking, telling us about her passion. And you all take care, have fun out there in the world, and we'll see you next time around. We've got some great guests coming up. I'll make some announcements. So, bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Dominic. Bye.
You're welcome.
Bye,
Don't
everyone.
hang up because I'm just gonna end the broadcast. Okay,
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Sure. Thank you, everyone, for watching.